One of the things that you will notice in our Mead binder is that the challenge guide is not in here. Over the year, there might have been some pieces that I put in there, but for the most part, it's not. I put the challenge guide in here. Just the pieces that he needs. Obviously, this was the end of second semester. And in second semester, I started having him use the guide as his checklist instead of the checklist that you're going to see in the Mead binder video coming up. So he used this checklist and it worked okay. It worked okay. Down here are review maps. So each week he would need to do a couple of review maps and he would need to write those. We wrote down all the things, let me just show you, all the ones that needed to be done, and he would need to cross off the ones that he did, and then on the next week he could box the ones that he wanted to focus on. But as you can see, as we progress through the year, sometimes it was written in there and sometimes it wasn't. So, yeah, but that was very effective because there really isn't a listing for doing review maps in the cartography strand, and that was important to me that he did both a regular map and a review map. We did not do tracing. He just freehand drew from looking at the cartography book on, just plain white paper. So that's what he did. Okay, so that's where our challenge guide lived. Lost Tools. I am part of the CiRCE apprenticeship, and the Lost Tools worksheets are designed to be more like mental templates. And as such, I really did not want to have our worksheets be something that he would have to break out and fill out the worksheet. That's not the purpose. So I uncoiled my book and made a copy of the worksheets and organized them, the student worksheets, and organized them by canon. So we have invention, arrangement, elocution. So I put the appropriate worksheets behind each of these. So when he's on his invention week, he can go here. And these, the theme of ownership runs through every book. So that is something that I wanted him to be thinking about every time he thought about one of his stories. Themes, any moral symbolisms, and the types of settings. And these are questions he would need to ask himself every time. I think sometimes what happens is people forget to continuously go back and ask these. Because when you get to comparison, your student is going to be introduced to more advanced comparison questions. But this question of how is X different from Y is not specifically directly asked in a deeper way later. It's more or less than, similar to are, have, do. There, anyway, you'll see. But they still need to go through these questions every time. Yeah, and the guide to sorting, but, oh, that's arrangement, sorry. So here are the worksheets, and he would just look at these and write them on paper and write the answers on paper in his binder. We use just plain lined paper, just plain lined paper. And I think the most important thing I can encourage you on, which I think is different than how most people do it, is to do when you do your student does their Annie, to have affirmative on one piece of paper, negative on another piece of paper, and interesting on another piece of paper, along with all the other content that's here. Because everything that's generated through the thinking process of these templates is considered part of the interesting column until the decision is made whether to write it on the A or the N. This isn't going to make a lot of sense to you right now. Sorry for going too technical. Brevity, not my strong suit. But for those of you who have been through Lost Tools before or are watching this later, hopefully that will make sense. Okay, arrangement. Just the arrangement worksheets went in here. Elocution. IEW resources. So just a reminder of sentence openers, the essay checklists from Appendix A, some sample essays from Appendix B, the glossary from Appendix C, and that has various different words that are used throughout the Lost Tools Level 1 curriculum, so that's pretty important. And lesson summaries. This is great. Parents, this is what you need for sure. When you are, before your student goes to class even, I would recommend that you read the lesson summary for Essay 2. Let's say it's an invention week. Read that lesson summary. And this is a long one for, because it's Essay 2. But see how it says invention up here? So read the lesson summary and write down any questions, anything you don't understand off to the side. And then you can either look in your teacher's manual or talk to your tutor. And this, if you just do this alone, it will really help your student understand the lesson better. So there's lesson summaries for all 9 lessons. So this is the book he would grab out for when he did Lost Tools. Let me just show you the essay checklist. This was how he was graded. If all of these things were done, then he got an A. And if these were not done, points were docked accordingly. Now, if the thinking, while there might have been 3 subproofs, did they really justify the main proof? That is not what I was not great. There wasn't an A for that, or there wasn't a change in letter grade for that. This checklist determined the letter grade. And then, so it was like, it was always an A, almost always, because he just had to be detailed. But I would sit with him after every time he did his Annie, before he moved on for sorting. We would look over his Annie to make sure that he had enough. And then when he went to sorting, I would make him show me his Annie or show me his sorting before he started his outline, so I could help guide through that thinking process. And part of it is we just recognize that it's going to look immature and it's not going to be super streamlined. So if we think of our students at this stage as toddlers learning this kind of thinking, then we will realize that their toddling is a sign of maturing and strengthening and growth, and not there's my puppy, look at her. Isn't she so cute? She's whining because she wants to come over where I am. We'll see that as toddling and not failing to meet this mark of some excellent thinker. They will get there. So be encouraged, they will get there. Okay, that's Lost Tools. So we have his main working binder, his Lost Tools binder, his challenge guide that's in here. He did not take this to class. He did take this to class. Sometimes he would take this to class. His tutor wished he would take this to class all the time. I mean, it's thin, so it was fine. This was his Latin binder, and in here I have these study sheets. Anyway, just derivatives. So for words that we needed some help remembering, we had the derivatives. Look, there she is. She wants to come in so bad. Hi, puppers. Hello, baby. Her name is Athena. Isn't she beautiful? I think she's so beautiful. She's our first puppy. Never had a puppy before. And then we have just vocabulary lists back here. These are wonderful. If you can find these, I forget where I got these, but if you can find these are wonderful. This was added on later. I found this from somewhere else and just taped it on. I wish I could tell you where I found these, but I loved these. If you made these, you are a rock star. I loved these so much. And I don't think this includes all the Challenge B stuff. I think it's just Challenge A stuff. So I'm gonna have to, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I have to find something for it. Also in here, but is been removed, I allowed him to use Amanda's Latin resources, her study guides, and those were great. So he used that. He did not take this to class unless he felt like they were going to do a lot of Latin, but he was really good with his Latin, so he didn't need to take this to class really. I also prepared something else. I'll see if I can find for him for Latin. Oh, the other thing, if you have an essential student, he also had this. This is just part of the student resource packet. That's the word lists. And so he also had this accessible to him for Lost Tools. So yeah. And then finally, this binder, hold on, there we go. This binder was one that he used to take to class all the time, but they ended up not using it very often, so he left it at home. But at the beginning, this was his little checklist of all the stuff he needed to bring to class each week. Isn't that sweet? He needed to bring his brain. I loved that. And this red folder was, oh, you okay, puppy? This red folder was this that the tutor would have them bring their weekly map drawing, the blank review map drawings. She would have them bring that home, so he needed to take it back. So isn't that sweet? That's what he did. That was his checklist. And inside here is his geography terms. And so he would, isn't this sweet? My son is not a drawer. He is not someone who enjoys sitting down and drawing and coloring, and yet he took such joy in drawing these. So I didn't have him write. In addition, I printed these off, I don't know, from Quizlet or something. And then he would find the definition and draw a picture that worked for him. These are so sweet. So that is pretty much, I think that's everything. It's amazing how much I forget. With COVID, man, we were totally discombobulated by the end of the year. But let me know if you have any questions. And here is the video coming right up now for what's in the binder. I would show it to you right now, but it is significantly messier than when we started. Oh, actually, let me just see. Okay. So one of the reasons I like this binder is because it's totally flexible. The rings are flexible. When you fold it, oops, I just pulled that out. That normally doesn't happen. This has been well used. When you fold it, it folds nice and slim and flat. It's super light on its own, especially. So he used this for an entire school year. It went in and out of his backpack, and frankly, it looks brand new. I just have to say, it's amazing. Inside are these double-sided, these tabs with double-sided pockets, and that was really great. Behind math, I have some algebra rules. This is a handout he got in class, and he had lined paper. Didn't need a lot of it in class, so yeah, he only had a couple sheets back there. Oh, also, the reason I have things with pockets is because I knew he would get handouts, and because I did not want the handouts getting crumpled in his backpack or just tossed any random place, hence the pockets. And these really were quite successful. I did not ever find stuff in his backpack. This, oh, see, look, you can see right here. This is Lost Tools. And so back here, we really just had blank paper. Oh, this is as he kind of worked on, oh, you can see this was his very last paper. And, yeah, this was his last paper. Oh, he did good though. Yep. Anyway. Oh, and you know what? He already turned into, okay, so when he's done with a paper, it goes into a sheet protector, and all the accompanying documents need to go inside with it. So I don't know where that is for his, I don't know where that is for his bronze bow paper. But anyway, this is where his Lost Tools stuff would go. And here is a really great way to see. Here's his A, and this is his Annie for his A. So this gives him plenty of room. Homeschool kids don't, like, here's the margin, start over here. He's so funny. So this gives him lots of room to write. He prefers to write more of like a sentence than keywords. For now, that's fine. And it gives him space to do his symbols. I don't know where his negative is. But anyway, I really do, like, you can see, there's a lot on here. So to end up having 3 columns or even 2 columns on one page is just too crowded. So I recommend you move to a page for an A, a page for an N, and then, you know, all these pages for the I. Okay. Research. This is a research strand. 5 common topics. Let's see, where did we leave off? Oh, we left off with drawing. So this is the part of his challenge guide that I did put in here so that he could draw every week and then draw and label. So you can see that. That's in your guide. But at the beginning of the year, I think I had only blank paper and then a list of what was up and coming. And I'll still add the other video so you can see it. Reasoning, at the beginning of the year, it was analogies. So we actually didn't even need this tab. It was completely unnecessary, as evident by the Minecraft drawings and the single piece of paper that's in there. Geography. So he would have a map in here sometimes. And then he would, I don't know what he was doing there. And then he would draw, look at that. I think this was one of his first maps, and that is later. He rocked it. I have to tell you, this kid, he took a couple of days to do this. Oh, I think he's off on the dates. It doesn't matter. This was after school. Anyway, but this kid rocked geography. I will tell you, he's not one to sit and draw or write, and I am so proud of him. Let's see. What is this? Oh, this is something completely different. This is not related to challenge at all. This is not related to challenge. Keep in mind, this is, you know, it is what, the middle of June right now, and a lot of his stuff from his binder has already been put away, and this is just some remnants. Hello, puppies. There she is again. Hello, sweet one. This is some remnants that are in here still. And then we had a tab for Latin. And a lot of our Latin stuff has been removed, but mostly we just had blank pieces of paper and any handouts. So, not all that's, I mean, it would just be every week he would do his work in here and then go to class with it. And then at the end of class, before he started, our CC day was Thursday, before he started school on Friday, he would need to pull out the work from the 1 week and put it in his binder, which is, I think upstairs now. But anyway, right in here. And then he would have blank paper to begin again. And a lot of it is just blank paper. So math is, you know, his own math, but he would write a problem on blank paper. Lost Tools for us was blank paper. Research was blank paper because he needed to write his paper. Reasoning was the analogy book, so not much. Geography was blank, like printer paper, and his geography book. And Latin was primarily what was in here. So he had charts and, you know, his charts and his derivatives, and then the sheets from Amanda, which were fabulous. Okay, I think that's it. There you go. God bless you. Challenge A was a great year. It was hard. There were definitely some hard things when it came to Challenge A, and if you want to chat, don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, God bless you. Just keep in mind, ownership is the key. Oh, you know what? Like in research, it would change. So as it was blank paper, and then it was science fair stuff, and then it was, you know, anatomy. So we just kept updating that. I'm kind of looking on the side. I'm looking for something else that I think is important that has to do with Latin, but I can't find it. That's okay. But for the most part, this is really what he used. Okay, I think that's it, you guys. God bless you.